Cooking Crave, brought to you by ENG Lending, your area's #1 choice for home loans. 456loan.com.
Coming up on today's show, we have 2 submitted recipes to share with you. That's all coming your way next. Hi, I'm Rhonda Fitterer.
And I'm Laverne.
And Jeannie Oberidge from Belfield, you know her quite well. She gave you 2 recipes that she likes, her family likes, so we're going to share them with our audience today.
We are. Yes.
All right. If you want to cook along with us, just grab a piece of paper and a pen and write down these ingredients. Today we're cooking a cabbage hot dish and some garlic cheese bread.
Yes.
So really quick, easy recipes, which is always what we're after. So for the hot dish, you're going to need a pound of hamburger, about a 1/4 cup of onion, a cup of minute rice, a cup of water, a can of cream of mushroom soup, a can of cream of chicken soup, half a head of cabbage, and a cup of grated cheese.
Pretty easy, isn't
Pretty
it?
easy.
Yep.
And then for the garlic cheese bread, you're going to need a loaf of French bread, 8 ounces of mozzarella cheese, a stick of butter, a half a cup of mayo, a 1/4 cup of oil.
And then we have
A little bit of garlic and onion powder to taste.
Right. How much flavoring you like in that. Yes.
All right. So where do you want to start?
Okay. Well, we will get the cabbage hot dish in the oven. We're going to brown the hamburger.
Okay.
So we're going to come over here. And we're going to start with a pound of lean hamburger.
Okay.
So we just want to get that chopped up and cooked. And as soon as that gets going, that's going to be really easy. We did put the oven on at 350 because both of these will bake at that 350 degrees. For this, the hot dish, roughly about 35 to 40 minutes until the cabbage is, tender and soft. The garlic bread or that garlic loaf is about 20 to 25 minutes. So both at 350, we can put them in together.
All
so
right,
it's going to
sounds
work great.
good.
So, and as soon as this starts to brown a little bit, what I'm going to do is we're going to add the onion in here and cook the onion and stuff. So now let's just turn that up. I did put the oven on, the burner on just a little bit, but I didn't want to get it too hot to sizzle and smoke, but I could have had it a little hotter. I'm going to just put a little bit of pepper on here. We just like that pepper. But you don't need to really salt because we're using 2 cans of soup, cream of mushroom, cream of chicken, and they always have plenty of salt in there.
Okay.
And that, so, when you want things to really go fast, it doesn't. So when we get this brown, then we will add those ingredients after with the onion and the hamburger together, and that's going to be hot. The liquid will be hot, so when we pour it over the cabbage, that really helps minimize the time of baking too when you start with really hot ingredients and stuff. So yeah, we can just, while that's doing that, we're going to spray a 9x13 pan, and Jeannie's got down a half a cup of, or I shouldn't say half a cup, half a head of cabbage, and so it wasn't a real big head. It equals about 4 cups. So I think that's going to make a nice covering because we're going to put that on the bottom first.
Okay.
So we can do that and spread that out and just, chop it. I don't know that you necessarily want to grate it, so I would just make sure, you just chop it into nice pieces and stuff. Then after this, we're going to we add minute rice to it. And the other ingredients, so cabbage and rice and the hamburger and the soups, you have your casserole. Plus the cheese we're going to put on about 10 minutes before it's completely done, just to melt that, because that doesn't get mixed into the ingredients. So
Okay.
well, I do finally hear that this is starting to cook. So once it starts, it's not going to take long.
Stay ahead of the game with ENG Lending, North Dakota's #1 choice for home loans. Let Jay and his home loan specialist help you when it comes to purchasing your new home or refinancing your existing one. Make the smart choice. Call ENG Lending at 456-LOAN. That's 456-5626.
Call 456-LOAN right now.
All right, the hamburger is cooked here, and like I said, we added the onion in there too. So now what we'll do is just add our cream of mushroom and cream of chicken soup in here. And I'll just stir all that together and make it warm. So this is easy, very easy to assemble and that, but when Jeannie dropped these recipes off for me, she just said it's one of their favorites. So it's kind of nice. It's nice to know that, you know, you can have very simple things that are really good.
Cooking doesn't have to be complicated. You can make
Nope.
it complicated if you want to, but
You sure can, yeah. So I'm going to add a cup of water, but what I'm going to do is just put some water in the cans and then clean out the cans here. So okay, that's about a cup there. And it's kind of a nice little switch to have something with cabbage and rice versus, you know, we usually find a lot more hot dishes with noodles.
right.
So it's nice to have something a little bit different. I guess I'm trying to think, does rice fit in with the keto diets?
No clue.
I know the cabbage does, but I don't know if, you know, rice does versus pasta. So maybe this could be a keto diet recipe. I don't know.
I don't know.
So we'll just get that mixed up here.
And so we don't have to cook the rice before we even put it in. We're just
No.
putting it in, and this is the minute rice that you have enough water in there to
Right.
take care of that.
That's where you're adding that cup of water. So we just want to get that mixed up well here, and then we'll pour that over. And something you can assemble beforehand too. You're just going to add a little bit more baking time on it if all the ingredients are cold,
Sure.
but it just doesn't take long to get that mixed up.
And so do we want to bring this to a boil, or we just want to get it incorporated so that we can put it on top of the cabbage?
That's all is pretty much. I just wanted to get it mixed well, so when we pour it over, it all the ingredients are spread evenly out.
Sure. Yes, get those soups diluted.
Yes. Okay, so that looks like that's about pretty hot there, so we'll bring it over here. And so all we do is layer it over the cabbage.
Okay.
Here, I'll get that over there because this is pretty heavy. Okay.
And we're waiting for the cheese to put on at the end.
Yes.
So we haven't really actually had too many recipes with cabbage either. One of our first shows that we did when we started our show here was what we call crow burgers, and it's a family favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think about cabbage, I know that that's in there, but we don't have a lot of recipes that other than that.
Yeah, into a regular casserole and stuff, we haven't. So this is a nice change.
Right. I mean, you talk about the rice, but there's not too many recipes that we have involving cabbage either.
Absolutely, yeah, right. So it's going to be great. So we're going to get that in the oven.
Okay.
Okay, I'll just put that timer on for 35 minutes to start. So we're going to come over here and get our loaf here assembled. It's just a loaf of French bread, and just cut it lengthwise. So we'll open that up there.
Okay.
All right. We're going to start with, a stick of soft butter. And I just want my washcloth, my dishcloth. I don't see where
It's
I put it.
behind over the cans.
Oh. Uh-oh. So there we go. Now that, and I'll have you get the mayo out.
Okay.
And I have that right in front. So with that, we're going to add a half a cup of mayo. And most recipes, when it says mayo, I would not substitute salad dressing because that definitely is a different consistency, different flavor, and that. So, but she definitely has down mayo.
Okay.
And that's just a half a cup. And we do a half a cup of oil, excuse me, a fourth cup of oil.
Yeah, that's a lot of oil.
It would be. So it's just a fourth cup of oil. And she's got down garlic and onion powder to taste.
Okay.
I thought about a half a teaspoon would be about the right for, those. Excuse me. What am I going? I'm going blank. Look at me. And you look at me blank. Okay. But for that, we're just going to do a half a teaspoon of each.
Yeah, I would prefer to start small.
Then
I know we always talk about that. You can always add, but when it comes to salts and powders, you can't take it out.
No, you can't. And that. And there's, so much differences for people that like things a little stronger, a little bit more seasoned. And that, and like you said, we have talked definitely about where we can, you can always add, but you can't take out. And being I have that butter out at room temperature, that's nice and soft, so it's easy to mix up. So again, this isn't much what we have here. The half cup mayo, the fourth cup of oil, and the stick of margarine or butter, which I've always prefer to use butter, and then your seasonings. And then we're going to add 8 ounces of mozzarella cheese.
So this is a little bit different from any garlic recipe that I've done. That there's actually mayo. That's an interesting ingredient just right there.
Right there with the mayo and the butter, mixing it all in together. Yes, it is. So we got.
So it's definitely going to have a different twist to it. Different
it
taste.
is. But it's going to be great to always use this to complement any casserole, spaghetti, or just anything on that order. So we're gonna. It says 8 ounces of mozzarella cheese, and that is shredded cheese, and that is 1 package, which is actually 2 cups. Well, I tore that off where it was supposed to, but it doesn't want to work.
Yeah, you need scissors.
I do.
The
one
last
thing
you
about
needed to have it go all over.
Yeah, one thing about being in your own kitchen, you just have to open up a drawer, and there you go. So. And then we're going to just spread that over the loaf there.
Okay.
Anything with that cheese in there and all those ingredients is going to be pretty awesome and very flavorful.
And this makes a generous amount, so.
It does. Here, and I'll let you start spreading there.
And if you don't cut it all the way through, that's fine. You'll have less that probably drips through to the pan.
That you don't want that to burn or brown when it falls out there. And cheese will. And I'll just scrape that off of there. that gives, a nice topping. There's a nice amount on there, so. Hey, we can work together well when we want to, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to put it in the oven now, and this is 20 to 25 minutes. I have 30 minutes for the casserole yet, so we're going to just give it we'll be taking it out a few minutes before the casserole is probably done.
Okay, sounds good.
Country Rose Cafe on East Villard is open for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. Enjoy daily homemade specials, caramel and cinnamon rolls, several different kinds of homemade pies made fresh every day. Country Rose Cafe is also famous for homemade soup, including their ever-popular Nefla served every Tuesday. While you're in, make sure to pick up your Channel 18 Cooking Crave recipes and like us on Facebook for different specials and announcements. Country Rose Cafe, the way a cafe should be, located at 837 East Villard in Dickinson.
I did take out the bread because that was starting to brown a little bit, and I had it in about 22 minutes.
Okay.
So that's about right. Oh, and the oven is going off. I pulled the casserole out and put the cheese on top of it, and now that's all melted, so let's check that out.
All right.
Okay, that is melted there, looks great. So let's bring it over here. Yeah, let's pull that out there. And then I'll bring the bread over. Doesn't that look good?
Oh, it looks good and it smells good.
So good. Okay. Well, I forgot to take out a spoon, so we'll just have to go this route here. And it's bubbly nice, and I can see, it has started to brown a little around the edges. So this was about 37, 38 minutes is what I had it in.
Sure.
So I'll have you scoop some of that out. And I'm going to put this cheesy loaf here. And when cheese goes on the side, it melts and it gets a little crispy. You can't
That's
throw
the best part.
Can't throw that away. Whatever. So, and what I'm going to do is cut a couple of slices here.
Okay.
You can tell it's hot. It's nice and crunchy, and so that would be, I think could sit down and just make this a meal in itself.
Right. We're featuring it with this, but I see that garlic cheese bread as something that definitely would serve with anything, like with an Italian spaghetti or lasagna type thing too. That
Right.
would be a perfect pairing with
Yes.
that, with a nice salad.
Yes. And like I said, Jeannie was so gracious. She gave us these two recipes, and I thought, I just want to feature them both at once.
Absolutely. That works too. And we want to thank Jeannie for submitting these recipes. Her name is going to go into the drawing for a Cooking Crave apron. So if you want to do the same, submit your recipes to consolidatednd.com. Thank you always to our sponsors, and join us again when we do it all over again next week here on Cooking Crave.